Hello and welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday, except for the next couple of weeks because this is the last episode of 2023. Joining me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, I'm excited to be here and really glad that we could end the year without any dreams being crushed.
Damn right. Also here, Ciaran Muchin.
I love the fact that there was a day that seemed that Australian games media was dedicated to Buddy Watson, and and also Skull and Bones. Let's go.
That's right. One thing is dead and one thing is alive. You be the judge of which is which if you haven't read the news.
Yeah, 100%.
But yes, it is the last episode of Arcade Couch 2023. We will have a bonus for Best of Games Week in a couple weeks. What week is that? I can't remember. It's the week of the 14th of January is our Games Award week, so I look forward to that. Otherwise, following this episode, Arcade Couch will return on the 22nd of January. Put that in your books and smoke it. Yeah, okay.
2nd of January. That's a massive break. Holy fuck.
Enjoy it.
We're going to be actually on break that whole time, right?
Come out?
Yeah, something comes out. Who cares? Anyway, I've made a decision. There's no
like that's a proper break. Like no extra recordings to talk about anything else. No.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Maybe.
All right. Probably.
Maybe. I mean, for me and Ashley will, but for you, you'll probably have time off. Yes. So that's you only have. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, if you want to review a game in that time, that's fine. That's up to you.
Prince of Persia is the only one I care about.
Yeah,
but it comes out like the week of that podcast, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure when I picked it, I was like, this sort of lines up. Like, there's Alone in the Dark's not coming out then.
Unless a bunch of stuff shadow drops.
Yeah, so it should be fine. Alrighty, let's kick off. We've got a few news stories to talk about this week before getting into anything that we've been playing. And I want to go over, what you're looking forward to playing over your newly discovered break. The game, shout out to this article. I don't want to read it, but I just want other people to read it. But IGN I thought had a really good article put up by Rebecca Valentine. So the Game Awards winner speeches we didn't get to hear, in which she grabbed these speeches from everyone who didn't get to speak at the Game Awards. So I would suggest checking that one out. It is just funny that we live in a world where this article had to be created.
You know how Jeff could really solve this? If he knows what things he's not going to show, just let the studios know before and let them record a video.
Again,
and just tweet it out if you're not going to show it during the show. No. At least give them something. Give them something.
Give them something. Give them the time on the show.
Oh, that's never going to happen because Jeff needs to pay
when it was the not to go too far into this fucking shit again, but like when it was like the percentage breakdown, like speeches had something like less than 20% of the show.
Oh, way less than 20%.
Like it was insane.
That's what it's been the last 10 years. I don't know.
No way. Nah. Christopher Judge was able to have a 9-minute speech last year. And you're telling me it's been that way every year?
Yeah. Christopher Judge took advantage of Jeff Keighley's naivety.
It's not even like sure, that's probably him taking advantage of a little bit, but like if 9 minutes was like the really long extent, I would say the average speech last year would have been 4 to 5 minutes.
I mean, for people who think that speeches are long at the Game Awards in past years, none of them have ever watched the Oscars or the Emmys or any.
Well, it's interesting because I was kind of trying to do some research, and like one report said that the average Oscar speech is 45 seconds.
Yeah, but like on average, there are definitely ones that go for like 2-3 minutes, and people reckon that's too long. I personally think that a couple minute speech for winning a big award is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I think if you want to go up and say a quick 20 seconds, that's fine too, if that's your choice. But I just think.
But also, the other thing is, for like the Oscars in particular, like a lot of these people have had other award shows and opportunities to like practice that speech beforehand. So they've had other opportunities to publicly speak and are used to publicly speaking, whereas a lot of these game devs, I doubt many of them have been on a massive stage like that. So
I mean, yeah. I know a lot of people have been saying the same sort of thing, which is, hey, if you care more about that stuff, watch the DICE Awards, watch the BAFTA Awards.
Yep. So
which
look forward to all our DICE content next year.
Which I get, but at the end of the day, the problem is that Keely's show has the biggest, and as it found out this year, again, record-breaking viewership numbers.
Mhm.
And he has a choice about how he wants to angle the show towards those numbers, tuning into it, and he chooses to give
He
people.
chooses the money.
Yeah.
Money.
It's not about the money.
Yes, it is.
But it is. Give me that Keely. He loves Doritos. The Mountain Dew. All right. The next story is E3 is officially dead.
No.
For now.
No, they said
No. I think it's super dead.
Coming from Eurogamer, the Electronic Entertainment Expo is officially no more. The future of the convention was in doubt after the 2023 event was cancelled, and Repop, owner of the event such as PAX and EGX, as well as Eurogamer, said in September it would no longer work for the Entertainment Software Association, ESA, to relaunch the show. Quote, after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. End quote. Reads a post on X. Thanks for the memories. Stanley Pierre-Louis, president and CEO of ESA, confirmed the news to Washington Post, saying, quote, we know the entire industry, players and creators alike, have a lot of passion for E3. We share that passion. We know it's difficult to say goodbye to such a beloved event, but it's the right thing to do given the new opportunities our industry has to reach fans and partners. Unsurprising, I feel like, for everyone who pays attention to anything. I personally think it's shit that E3 is over. If I had to pick between our current way things play out between Summer Game Fest and like it's just Keely season at summer, Keely season at winter, Keely there, Keely everywhere sort of thing, compared to the old days of what, I grew up looking forward to and dreamt about going to, like a lot of people, I guess. I would happily go back to the E3 days. I mean good E3 days.
Do you think what happened at the Game Awards is coloring your opinion on that? You're like, fuck, Jeff Keighley's got too much power now. He's got no.
No, I just.
Or do you think you would have felt that way before?
I just would have felt that way. Like when I was in high school and I was watching E3 through to the last couple of years of E3, it was always so cool to have staying up late, getting up early for press conferences, feeling super excited or let down. It was all part of the fun, and then the following 3 to 4 days of whatever it was of coverage coming out from different outlets. I used to just soak it in. Like when I was in high school, I used to just read IGN. I used to watch a lot of game trailers TV when I was in high school, and they used to do like live shows and all this sort of stuff covering what they'd been playing on the show floor, covering their behind the scenes interviews. It just felt like such a week of stuff, and now it's just so in out 24 hours. And I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like everything now, like TikTok and whatever else, like it's so like quick, fast, in out, one ear hole out the other. But yeah, I don't know. I miss, like, I'd prefer it.
I will say, like, would you trade the world of video games communication of that time now? Would you have that communication now to get E3 back? Because that's what's killed E3 and E3's failure to adapt to that.
Well, it wasn't really E3 fault. It was just the fact that all the publishers and everyone realized, Nintendo realized first that they could just ditch it and go do Nintendo Direct.
But you can't say it's not E3's fault. It's E3's fault that they didn't adapt and change, and they didn't become something that
they didn't facilitate ways to keep them around.
I would say no, because the facilitation just makes them become PAX. Like in a novel world, everyone just wanted, and they tried to do this open world show and everything else like that. But the fact is, E3 died because it unfortunately, the way stuff changed, where everyone does their own press conferences whenever they like now, does state of plays, Nintendo Directs, Xbox showcases, etc. Everyone has their own control, and they just do several a year whenever the hell they would like. They have full control of it. There's no need for a trade show like E3 to exist anymore.
But shouldn't E3 have been able to do what Jeff's done with Summer Games Fest? Shouldn't E3 have been able to do that as E3? And wouldn't that be way better than some random guy named Jeff doing it?
I mean, who's to say?
Wouldn't it be so much better to have a whole bunch of...
You wouldn't have Hideo Kojima. They'll probably get Jeff to host it anyway. Like, what the fuck are you...
No, but even if they would... No. But the thing is, even if they would, but... it would have meant that E3 would have survived in some form,
Mm.
right? Like
I don't know.
your
To me, I'd
big-
still, if that was happening, I'd still be like, oh, I miss E3 because that's just not E3 to me. That's just.
But like, what is it? I don't quite get what exactly it is you miss about E3.
Everyone doing their own press
coverage.
conferences, followed by the preview coverage by outlets.
But
like
don't we?
Several days of just reading people's articles, watching their videos of people going hands-on, behind closed doors, telling me about this real thing they played in secret. Oh my god, it sounds so cool. I have no screenshots or video, but they're telling me in this article it sounds awesome. Yeah.
It would take some research and look into, right? And it's not something I ever have time for. But I would almost put money on the fact we probably get more of that content spread throughout the entire 12 months of the year than we ever used to in that week period of E3.
I think it was just the one place that it was the vibe, you know?
Yeah, but how much of that do people miss or not read because it's not part of E3?
But that's not. I feel like what we get now is better than what we got in E3. It's not anything's fault if it's, if people aren't finding it because it's not localized into a week span. But I feel like more media personnel are getting invited in to do more longer play tests of games and games demos to talk about in previews than they ever did previously. And they no longer need to go to E3 to be able to do those things.
I mean, they always used to do preview events. Nothing's really changed there, except for they don't have like scantily clad women and alcohol at them because they sort of grew out of the boys club vibe. But none of that stuff's really changed. It's just hey man, it's no different than when we do PAX, really, to a degree. Like that part I'm missing. Of hey man, did you see that fucking game that was over at the booth? Oh my god, like just that. Like I used to listen to shows
the
word of mouth and people getting excited about a game in real time because it's on a show floor somewhere and you're reading about it and just I don't know, like either you know what I'm talking about or you don't. Like, and I feel like,
but I feel like we get that just more often.
I feel like you could have gotten both. I think you could still have that event, and it's very much like we don't know what PlayStation has going next year.
Nothing.
If we had an E3 showcase, then we probably would know what they're doing next year. And we would have a lot of stuff to speculate and be excited about. But because E3 mismanaged or what their relationships and that kind of stuff, that Sony just started not showing up. So even though all the Sony showcases are highlights of the several years they were doing them. Especially the last 5 or so.
Sony hasn't done a good press conference since maybe the Last of Us Part 2 announcement year?
In the barn.
Yeah, in the barn. I think
that
one wasn't amazing. Even that one wasn't amazing.
No, because they had the weird transition from one.
Yeah, they had the weird transition.
It was still thematically cool, and in hindsight, it was very cool.
Yeah, I think between that one and the year before that, those were the last good Sony press conferences.
Well, they were the last one, so
they were. But even if you compare it to the state of plays we get now from Sony, I think are lackluster compared to
every state of play is pretty lackluster.
I think it's also different playing to just general organizing a showcase for a general put it out on the internet as opposed to preparing one for an actual audience.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to deliver something and trying to elicit a response as well, it's different.
But then on the other hand, I think even though maybe they haven't had the games to support it, I think Xbox has done a really good job in the last couple of years of doing events. We forever
Xbox loves to announce games. I know this.
It fucking does, and then they just don't bring them out. But but even then, Xbox creates there are moments in kind of gaming history now that get created, and pop culture history. They're getting created from Xbox events, You're Breathtaking. That is meme to shit still to this day. And Keanu Reeves and his involvement in that's still an Xbox show. Like maybe, doesn't necessarily have anything to do with it, but
Ruined all
still,
live press conferences going forward, Why else were people heckling Anthony Mackie this year?
Mate, you're starting your fucking New Year's Eve fucking New Year's fucking shit early here. Holy shit.
I would love to see if someone's got like a full archive channel of every E3 conference or something like that and do like a full, now that it's dead, like do like a full recap.
I think, and this is my own person, like I guess this is shady.
Sounds like a job for Explosion
Network. Does. Sounds like a podcast for Explosion Network.
The limited series,
yeah,
E3, year by year.
It lined up with Sony starting to get that bit of arrogance that I think they have now. Fucking, oh no. Oh no. Oh
Just,
no.
Yeah, no, like maybe not like a podcast, like a series of videos with like we rewatch the showcase.
It's gonna be a podcast. Oh god, yeah. Join us for E3's conference-based wonders, releasing to a podcast service near you next year. You know what? We should just do it in place of E3 next year.
Yeah. We'll just watch a couple of showcases just to make us feel better
just
about
have fun.
Dead.
But like I think
no matter some classics like Ridge Racer. Like, there's some good moments.
I'll be like, oh, I've never played this. Never played this.
I think I don't know. I still stand by the point of it was E3's fault that they're no longer here.
Oh no,
they could have done
completely true.
They could have done so much. They didn't have to turn into PAX, but they could have done so much.
They didn't have to leak all the journalism.
Yeah, let's not remember like ESA like consistently screwing things up.
Yeah, that
including most prominently doxing every single media person on their list. That being said, I feel like that a lot of media people, and we've seen a lot of people like on X and Twitter and other things saying like going to E3 was always a dream. Like that was a career goal to go to an E3. That can never be attained now.
And a lot of people say some of their favorite memories are from E3, which is, again, sort of part of what I'm talking about, is a lot of those companies had their own little stage shows or their little booth set up where they was recording, like your GameSpot TVs and whatever that, like whatever, IGN had their live show. Like, all these people used to be in one place, and it was sort of like, like how we meet up at PAX and be like, oh, hey, all these different people we know from podcasts and media outlets. Like, all these people would meet up in one place together. No wonder they have, like, fantastic memories of it. And that just doesn't happen like that anymore. Like, so I get it. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
I will say, there is a chance that it comes back one day. If the ASA
you
goes
love to say that
bankrupt
about everything, right? So,
mate,
if the ASA, what's the ASA going to do now? They've, E3 was a big cash cow. Are they going to stay a thing?
It's not
if
dead,
they don't stay a thing, does somebody just buy the brand name and then reboot it?
What, we're going to get skin suit E3?
Yeah, sure.
No.
Has purchased
Here's
E3.
my pitch: you do E3 again, but you move the city every year. Don't stay in LA every year.
100%. Make it international.
Yeah. Make it like G23 or like Star Wars Celebration.
Or Tokyo Game Show.
Remember the Australian Game Awards?
They gave enough, the same amount of time for people to accept their awards as the Game Awards did. So
it's crazy. 1 year, hey. Anyway,
the copyright of the name, no one can ever do them again.
I don't know. Jeff sued him. Is what?
That's
the part we never found out. Yeah. Last of Us Online has been cancelled. Rip.
Can we have a moment of silence?
Over at Press Start, they write in shocking
What
news.
about Last of Us Factions, though? Is that still alive?
Never heard of it.
That's still
in shocking news, Naughty Dog has revealed that the Last of Us multiplayer project, which has been in kind of development limbo for some time now, has been outright shelved. The developer said that it made the tough decision between pivoting to being a solely live service focused studio in order to properly release and support the ambitious project long term, or refocus its efforts in the single player narrative experiences that it's known for. Naughty Dog also confirmed it has more than one single player project currently in development. And Buddy drank a lot that night.
Yeah. Buddy is a sad boy.
Buddy is indeed a sad boy.
More sad boy than usual.
When did this idea that Last of Us... When did this idea that Last of Us Online was going to be a live service game? When did that happen?
The second that they said that
the second they said
Destiny
we're not
and Bungie and
no, the second that they said it wasn't going to be it wasn't going to come with part 2.
Ugh, yuck. Gross.
I mean, look, how I feel about this is two-part. I think it's super fucked up that we don't live in a world where you can just release a multiplayer game anymore. And the assumption is that it has to be live service. You know, that's very, very just crazy. And B, I think this is ultimately the best decision.
I do appreciate the notion that Naughty Dog was like, hey, we don't want to become a live service developer. We don't want to do that with our studio.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just fucking handball it to another studio and be like, go for gold. Do what you like. Have fun with it. Have an IP that is going to be.
I don't think there's enough unemployed people out there at the moment. What about you, Ash? What do you reckon?
No, I don't think that 10,000 people are out there looking for jobs right now. You know, that would need one.
But they all worked on single player games. I feel like that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. They don't have the specialized set of skills needed
for this certain project.
You know, definitely not all these people laid off by a certain company that was running a massive live service game.
Not 9,000 of them, at least.
No.
But there was a fair portion of people running what's another word for a fate-based game.
Fuck it.
I was just going to flat out say, what's another word for Destiny? Yeah, obviously, you know, disappointing. I look forward to the eventual Jason Schreier story of how everything kind of played out. The untold story of Last of Us Online. Like, to me, the question is, was this something that the multiplayer mode kind of organically grew bigger and bigger? Or was it a push by Sony? And I've already got the word. Buddy Watson says Sony is a villain in this completely, but
they
are 100%. There's no way they're not the villain.
Well, if they were the villain, they would have made them follow through. So
we know Sony wanted to. We know Sony was on about what was it, 12, 13 online service games.
Yeah,
like Sony would have wanted the ambition for the game to be much larger than I'd say the studio had thought of it to be at the start.
It's just they want to make money, and how you make money is by making a live service game, not just a multiplayer game.
Yeah, but they let Ghost of Tsushima just put out their mode. They just let God of War Ragnarok put out a free mode.
Yeah, one for you, one for us. You know.
And, you know, a multiplayer Last of Us game would have made money. All you had to do was stick a bunch of skins in it. You know?
You wouldn't even have to stick it. The thing is, right, the original Last of Us factions is the antithesis to everything the industry wants right now. The Last of Us factions, you bought the copy of the game once, and you paid for your online subscription.
Just to clarify, you bought a copy of The Last of Us, which came
of the
with
Last of Us
factions.
Yes, yeah. You bought The Last of Us once. You got your online subscription.
PS version of Last of Us, yes.
And then that is that's all you needed for the rest of time to play that game. As Buddy is a living testament to right fucking now. Like, there is...
And the thousands of people Buddy plays with constantly.
Yeah. It's... Like it is everything that they don't want. They don't want you to do that. They want a game that is pumping and farming money.
I feel like the problem is it's like on one hand you've got a way to make a consistent small amount of money, and the other way was to dump a bunch of money into developing this and potentially making something that makes a lot more money. And they've tried to do that, and now they've just wasted a bunch of money and time. Because if they you could have just made the Last of Us factions that Buddy and everyone that still enjoys that game plays, with some upgrades and whatever else, but still kept the core basics, and just released a map pack for it every 3 to 6 months. People charge $15-$20 for it, and people would have happily bought it. I feel like I feel like I just don't understand.
I also believe that knowing the people at Sony and Naughty Dog who want to push things forward, they also wanted to do more than just a reskin of the original multiplayer.
It's funny, now the Bungie story sort of makes a lot more sense of them coming in and being like,
Bungie came in and they didn't say it wasn't fun. They scared them straight. And they said, you want to be working on this one thing for 5 years, everybody? and nothing but complaining about it for the next 5 years.
But
Is that
the
what
thing
you
is,
want?
it never had to be anything like Destiny. Like I think Bungie
I don't think
shit
it's
the
not that it
bed
had to be
so
like Destiny.
badly.
I think it's just that the Bungie properly
Bungie pointed
explained,
out
as a developer who
what you had
has
to commit
experience in
to.
the genre, like, hey, well, you could be on the weekend and this happens, and suddenly you need 50 people working on it, or this happens and this happens. And like, I think they just pointed out all the variables as to what a live service game entails.
But I just don't.
You need daily events, you need weekly events, you need reasons to get, like, all the little things. I think they boiled them down, and Naughty Dog were like, fuck.
Nope.
I just hate that there had to be a live service game. I hate.
Well, no, I don't like that either, but I feel like they were already on that path, and I believe that is a Sony mandate, not a Naughty Dog mandate. But then Bungie came in of Sony's request and said, hey, can you take a look at the game? And they said, hey, yeah, the game looks good, but like, this isn't anywhere near up to standard for what will keep people playing week in, day out, outside of the hardcore Last of Us fans.
Let's be honest, Bungie doesn't even know what will keep people playing week in and week out at this point.
I mean, yes and no. They
had two games that ran 5+ years. I mean,
yeah,
they ran it, but if you ask their communities,
it's hard.
If you ask their communities, their communities is
this is like the most successful live service game
company
outside
of like Blizzard.
I'm not talking about MMOs, like just.
But they're live service games.
They have live service games that have been incredibly successful. Hearthstone.
No, I'm talking outside of Blizzard.
Really, you want to invoke Overwatch?
Yeah, I regretted saying that the moment after. I don't know. I think there's just, but the thing is, I don't even think Destiny is that good in terms of live service games. When you put it up against Fortnite, Apex.
No, I think the secret is Warcraft. Not Warcraft. Warframe. Probably the biggest success. Yeah. No one ever complains about that game. Everyone just loves it.
I mean, like World of Tanks and stuff like that.
I don't know.
Is Warframe Bungie?
No, but I'm just saying.
That's why I was so confused. What?
Just saying. I'm just saying it's a successful live service game.
Yeah. It is, but that's the thing. That's why I don't.
I think they're still up there. They might not be the top. They might not be the
not making as much money, but
they've done it. Yeah. So
they did it.
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean, yeah, but it's disappointing, for fans like Buddy. But the idea that Naughty Dog is going to go on to make more single player games, and I think in the article they specifically say they're working on multiple at the moment.
So they're working on probably The Last of Us Part 3 and a new IP would be my assumption.
Yeah, and the remake of the first two games again.
Yeah, probably.
Probably a PS5 version of Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
And
you know what? If they make an Uncharted collection again ported to PlayStation 5, I'd be pretty pumped. Because I looked at that the other day, and I was like, it's a PlayStation 4 remaster. I don't.
See, you were the part of the problem.
No, because I was just looking for something good. I was just looking for good, hearty crap to eat in terms of to consume instead of the game. And Uncharted is that, and I haven't played it since Uncharted, Thief's End or whatever that game was called.
4, yes.
No, not 4. The other one then, where it was
Lost Legacy.
Drake. Yeah, that's the one. Lost Legacy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nadine and
Chloe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I played that finally because they released that as a PS5 version when they did the Uncharted.
Yeah, they
4.
released Thief's End and Lost Legacy.
4.
But
they released 4 and 4, but they released the original 3.
Trilogy, but yeah,
if they bring the original 3 over, I will be like, I'll play more.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what, playing Uncharted, just side note, because they have 120 frames per second mode in that. It's fucking wild. At 120 frames. All right, let's move on. Talk about some other shit. Because there's a lot of shit to talk about this week. Good hearty pre-Christmas episode. The day before, developer Fantastic is shutting down its doors less than a week after its launch. Right, press start.
Rubbing it into Bud even more.
Oh
no, this is Zach, surely. I don't know. In news, I'm sure most folks would have seen coming, writes Ciaran. Fantastic has announced its closure just days after launching its long-awaited and widely criticized the day before in quote-unquote early access. The studio had already drawn ire from players who purchased the game and found it to be severely undercooked and barely matching the genre, let alone features that Fantastic had been promising for years prior. Now, any hopes of updates is over, and the game itself can no longer be purchased from Steam. given Fantastic's history with its controversial quote-unquote volunteer employment structure. Well Played has a great write-up on this. Shoutouts. The dozens of videos of the game. Look, this is in writing here. No, it's fine. The dozens of videos of the game during development that had nothing like what it eventually delivered, and the fact that it had indicated that the day before would be a full release until just a month before launch, when it suddenly switched to early access tactic, it's actually been quite difficult for vocal players and the public to view the situation with anything but suspicion. So. Yeah, I think they are massive scam artists, right? Is that where we were on? Like, how do we feel about this?
Huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. I don't think there's any way that could not have been a scam. Like, I don't know. Like, everything is gross about this situation. Just how ready they were to pull the pin on this game after releasing it, like, is crap. Like,
the only hesitation I've got on calling it a scam is it seems like they're not actually going to get any money.
They say they're giving refunds and stuff, but how the fuck do you know that's actually what's happening? Just because they say it, just because someone says something doesn't mean it's true.
And like, this was going on before the game even released, in terms of weird things happening with the IP and with the game.
Also, part of me is like, if you lost money on this game, kind of deserved it. Based on all the reporting beforehand, you know?
No, because you can't.
Did anybody believe?
Because you can't. As you've used against
me, you couldn't wait for reviews.
No, as you've used against me, I swear, in arguments and discussions before, you can't rely on the general public of gamers to be reading every article and every news report that comes out about a game they want to play.
Not every article, maybe some. Just do a Google search. I'm pretty sure the first thing's coming up. Like, is this a real game? Just search it in Twitter. Search is day before a game. Oh, look at all these problems. They don't even know the name to the game. This game's been in development 8 years. They've never put out a game before, and it looks like this. A lot of things there that was super sketchy. So that's my take.
Well, they had put out a game before, but it was just they've never put a game.
Not those developers.
No, it was the same
publisher,
team, but they changed their name.
Yeah,
which is just as bad.
Yeah,
as
that's not a red flag.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like. This is such a wild story. I can't wait for someone to do like a really in-depth video of this.
I look forward to the video of Zach Jackson coming out and said, "Oh, I was behind it all. I invented the game, made it look really good, got Buddy to bet a Blue Heaven Ice milkshake, and then I released the game for 4 days and then cancelled it."
That motherfucker really
like the next Benoit Blanc mystery.
He really got bit by sucking in by the trailers for this game. I swear. What sucker, you know?
Yeah. Inside sources. I talked to somebody close to the game.
Yeah, himself.
Myself. I was talking to me in the mirror. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hope you didn't buy this, but it was like the most wishlisted game on Steam or some shit.
Oh, how?
This is the
surely bots and AI had to be involved in some way to get that kind of traction.
This is a worse version of No Man's Sky. At least the No Man's Sky team was successful enough in terms of like they could keep going.
At least the assets were their own assets.
Yeah, they were trying. They were actually trying to make a game. Like
yes, yeah, no, 100%. This is the worst version of this.
Or they were just really bad at their job.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like if you're like, oh, because like, you know, oh, we're not a big team or whatever. It's like, I don't really give a fuck if you're not a big team. I don't really give a fuck like if your game doesn't look great or whatever. But like, if you put out false marketing, falsely talk about your game, like put out trailers that mislead it to how it actually is, like at the end of the day, you can't be like, well, that's just because it's like, no, well, you chose to mislead the audience, like, and also the fact that they like, what was it, 4 days? Was it 4 days? Yeah, whatever it was, 4 or 5 days. And then they closed the game. It's like, we didn't make enough money. I was like, who the fuck makes that decision in 4 days for an early access game? Like, it's so wild to me that like it's coming out in early access. Yep, cool. 4 days later, no, we're shutting down. It's like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, I think they probably saw the amount of refunds being requested. and were like, we're never going to make any money on this based on the reaction. There's no coming back.
So instead of that, they apparently are giving everyone refunds that request them and just stopping the game. Oh, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, this game got way more air than it was worth. I think this is probably the most we've talked about on here because I tried not to bring it up anytime a news story came up because I just thought it was such a waste of time.
We didn't want to step on Will's play shoes.
Well, that too, but also I just thought like it's just I thought the entire time this game was going to be either A, never released, or B, a bunch of bullshit when it came out. And guess what? It was a bunch.
It was only just not the first one.
Yeah, close. Just it's by 4 days it released. So you know, the very thin line between not released and released there.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to a game that is actually apparently now coming out. Ubisoft Singapore is finally ready to drop sale on Skull and Bones, writes James Wood over at
Press Start.
Yeah, fucking yeah. For a second, my brain went to say the other words. Well played. Well played. Here's a really good preview up on about the game. But long story short, I would highly recommend reading that. It's in the show notes below. Go read Zach's as well over at Well Played if you like. They're both there.
I was about to say, how would you describe Zach's play?
I think I just linked James's because I was already on press start to be honest. I got the news story about Last of Us or whatever. But the game is finally coming out on February 16th. Do we believe this is actually finally the time it's going to come out? And do you believe have the people like James and Zach been paid off, or is the games media corrupt, or do they actually think it's good and you're excited to play this? Because both of them
based on this week's Well Played podcast, I don't think they were paid off. Based on their trip home from Singapore.
Fair.
So, read into that what you will.
I will say, and Dylan is our testament to this because he's the only one that sat down and finished it. A lot of people in games media love Final Fantasy 16 and gave it 10s. Like a lot of people love that, so I guess if it could be good. You know what? Right, Dylan sent us the link the other day to get closed beta keys. I actually attempted to, and then for some reason my Ubisoft account has the authenticator on it, but it's not attached to my phone, and I don't know where the fuck my recovery codes are. So I went, nah, all right, I tried and closed it.
Fair. Believe it or not, if you listen to Arcade between the cushions, I haven't had time this week. So,
well, in that case, I played an hour and a half of the game, and
thank you. Someone did.
Holy shit! Ashley played it,
and it it's all right. It runs fine.
I'm sold. It runs fine, and it's all right.
It's delivering what we expected to. Obviously, you're playing as a captain of a pirate ship, controlling.
You can like jump between.
Oh no. Wait, what?
You can't jump between the ships and like control your pirate captain to do so?
Not currently, and I don't think so based on, it seems like you can go to very generic hub places that you can go up to storefronts and like get quests and that kind of stuff, but other than that, there's not. Or you can go gather resources around islands, but that's about it. It is not Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh.
It's not Assassin's Creed's Black Flag. It is.
Ooh.
You're mainly there for the pirate ship combat. So you go out.
If you want to cosplay as the boat, you can do that. Yes.
Well, that's kind of at least we've got a definitive answer for that question that's kind of been plaguing this game since it was revealed. But yeah, I only played like an hour or half. So you start the game with like an awesome boat, and then you get taken out by the damn British. Interesting. I didn't know this, but obviously it's set not in the Caribbean, but like in somewhere like Asia, I want to say. Doing through the like spice trade and that kind of thing through that region. So a lot of the costumes and that kind of stuff. Like,
I'm pretty sure it's inspired by like they talk about in interviews, like around Singapore, Asia, like that sort of.
Yeah, so again, distinguishing itself away from.
So yeah.
Also, it was really interesting, like the like title screen, I guess you'd call it, like how they say like all the different studios worked on this game. There's like at least 15 different Ubisoft studios that help work on this game, on top of obviously Singapore leading it. So
Someone's gotta.
yeah, somebody's going to help out. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. The combat's all right. I can definitely see a niche amount of people wanting to play this, but I don't think it's going to be like a mainstream hit. You know,
Fair.
I'd be interested to like do some of the multiplayer kind of stuff, because obviously, like, I see other boats like from other players like sailing around, that kind of stuff. But like, it'd be cool to like gang up with a bunch of boats and like take out a fleet of other enemy ships. Because I've gotten to a point where I'm like, there's like 6 boats that I need to try and kill all together. How am I supposed to tackle this problem? My one tiny boat with 6 cannons. It's like
One cannon in each boat, and you fire.
I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably try and play the full 6 hours that the closed beta gives you. But
did they
am I
say
gonna
it
pick it
carries
up day
over,
one?
or like? I don't know.
I don't think so. They didn't say.
Oof. Doesn't carry over.
Might get a
so
mask.
close to release. Yikes.
It's still like 2 months away. So
All right, more layoffs to end the year.
woo.
Woo! Eurogamer says, by the way, that's complete sarcasm by us. I just want to clarify.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Which one is this?
Yeah, which one? That's true. That's fucking good point. Embracer layoff strike continues with 3D Realms and Slipgate Ironworks latest to be affected. I like the subheading that they've got here on Eurogamer. For Christmas this year, I got laid off. Fucking hell. 3D Realms and Slipgate, blah, blah, blah. While Embracer is yet to publicly comment on these particular layoffs, Eurogamer understands the news to be accurate, while several team members have said that they have been affected. 3D Realms Scott Miller shared his sadness on Twitter/X. Quote, several sources have told me this bad news. Sorry to hear about another drop of the axe by Embracer Group, this time landing on Danish 3D Realm. He wrote. So, yeah, Embracer, of course, they brought up all these studios just to do nothing with them and then let them all go. Good job. Really, I can't remember who I saw. Someone tweeted the other day, like, someone needs to do like a story about how fucked up the Embracers, like what they've, like them just buying up all these people to
I think
them all go. Like,
probably the most egregious one now. Now that, you know, everything is falling through, is like them buying all the Square Enix Western companies.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
It's like, why did you spend that money when you could have been like trying to keep these other studios alive? Other than, you know, it was obviously a really good deal.
So, videogamelayoffs.com hasn't updated the number yet because they don't have the number affected for either of these people. But I know I joked about it, but yeah, we could be getting closer to 10,000. I don't know. It's fucking creepy people.
Yeah, and that's
at least
just all the ones.
If you want to reach out, expand it a little bit. Hasbro just kicked off 1,000 people that work on D&D. Have just let go of 1,000,
including several who worked on.
Apparently the entire team who was the contact for Larian Studios pretty much doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, so I can't remember his name. Sorry, but the head studio of Larian, who tweeted out like his full, like, here's what I would have said at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
in that
Armor Dude.
Yeah, Armor Dude, correct. In his tweet thread about his speech, he does say like thank you to that team that just got let go at Wizards and everything. Which is crazy. It's like, hey, here's the people that worked on Game of the Year winner at the Game Awards, or at least were part of that project to some degree. Yep, these are all off you go.
Because our numbers aren't impressive enough.
Yep.
Well, it's apparently the Hasbro team, when they projected numbers for D&D, they projected it based off of the pandemic period numbers.
Which is obviously insane. The problem across the entire industry.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to... Again, I reiterate again, and I feel like I'm going to make sure this is... Obviously, if you read our top 10 games article, I'm going to have something there about it as well. But, like, yeah, really good year of video games for the millionth time. Shit year for people that make the video games. Atrocious year for the people that make the video games. Next news story. Last news story. The Death Stranding movie is being developed by A24 and Kojima Productions. Ciaran over Press Start writes, after originally announcing that a live-action Death Stranding movie was in development with Hammerstone Studios, it's now been revealed that A24, the company behind Everything Everywhere All at Once, Talk to Me, the shirt I'm wearing at the moment, Uncut Gems, Midsummer, and many more hugely celebrated productions, has partnered with Hideo Kojima to develop the film. The news was initially broken by the launch of a new T-shirt design incorporating the A24 logo and familiar Death Stranding strand visual, with the description reading, "It's official. We've partnered with Kojima Productions on a live-action feature film adaptation of Hideo Kojima's acclaimed video game, Death Stranding." Previously, Kojima said he was deeply involved in the film's creation but hadn't taken on directorial duties. In describing the partnership with A24, he explained that this won't be a direct adaptation of Death Stranding game, but part of a larger universe and, quote, achievable only through the medium of film, end quote. Ciaran, how do you feel about Death Stranding movie?
It would be fucking hilarious if they casted somebody else to play Norman Reedus' character.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we don't know if his character will be in it.
We don't know if it's going to be about it, but if this was to take place around his story, it'd be hilarious if it was anybody other than Norman Reedus playing it. And it would be, and I think it's kind of where the fact that Kojima uses so many real life actors now in his stuff that it could almost make it harder to produce movies out of them without them, I guess, using the name but using a completely different story for it.
Ash?
Also, I think it was Ash's thoughts that said, "Hey Kojima, you should probably just go fucking make movies and stop worrying about games," and this furthers that.
I don't think I said that. But
somebody said it.
Don't credit me.
It's probably
Ash is like, don't misquote me. I put words in my mouth.
Maybe it was me.
You're like,
it was a smart person.
As I once said on this show, a very smart person.
As I previously said, Kojima go make movies. Or maybe it's just something I heard. I don't know. Where did I listened to someone else apparently.
I feel like this deal is just so Kojima could get some A24 merch, and that's his primary motivator behind this. It's shirt, interesting. So. It's a cool shirt, you know. It's very simple, and you know what it's connected to. I mean, you know, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the potential's there for it to look really cool, be something really cool. Obviously, A24 recently have started to do bigger budget projects to mixed reaction, it seems. Based on
Encore or?
No, I'm talking about the reaction to the Civil War trailer this week, which we'll talk about on this week's What Do You Want to Watch? So, you know, I guess, you know, we'll wait and see. But if I was to guess, it's going to be a smaller scale story than, you know, Death Stranding. Probably like, I don't know, a fragile prequel, or, you know, the events leading up to the world going to shit or something like that.
I would love a fragile prequel, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Like, Lea Seydoux is probably the biggest actor in... Well, she is. She's the biggest actor in Death Stranding. So to give her
the most acclaimed
film would be perfect. And that character has a lot of backstory. That's obviously covered in the game to a degree, but not fully explored. So, and I'm obviously, I love Death Stranding. I think it's fucking a phenomenal game. I much prefer this idea of expanding, because I think trying to adapt Death Stranding, the game, the story, and whatever works in that to film as a medium would not work. Because part of what makes that game special is how long and that journey and those slow moments you have between yourself and the game, where you're like walking up a cliff face and just some random song kicks in. You know, like you just can't you can't adapt that to film. So it's like, take that universe, take those characters and stuff, and just do something that's built for film instead. So I'm down.
Do you reckon we get a known director to do the project, or is it?
They're like, oh, Guillermo del Toro is directing it.
It's like, is he working on his connections?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people that because the thing is, Kojima is well loved by a lot of people because people grew up playing Metal Gear and stuff, and they appreciate him as a auteur of video game direction, which is why he like has so many friends in the film industry, I guess. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a bit of a, hey, I would love to be the first person to like, because this may come out before that Metal Gear Solid movie
ever does.
So you could still be the first person to ever adapt or do some form of Hideo film. So
yeah.
And I mean, he's more involved in this than he is the Metal Gear thing, obviously. So
yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what we're playing, what we're going to be playing, all that sort of stuff. I have been playing this past week, and I want to say it's very good, unsurprisingly, because people said it was. I've been playing Cocoon. That shit is some good shit. Very much. I've been playing it on the ROGers, big good ROG deck game. It's on Xbox Game Pass if anyone would like to play it. Yeah, so I mean, obviously you watch all the trailers for this, and you're like, what is this game? Like, what is and how does it work? It is like it is puzzles, but I love the simplicity of the game. Like the game is built around one button. Like everything in the game is just like you just move your character and it's just A to interact with things. You're either just picking things up, putting them down, flicking switches, or like having things follow you or whatever. Like it's just so simplistic. But the world, the design, and the puzzles are just so cool to solve. But yeah, obviously if you watch the trailers, you start with like one orb that you can go into, and it's like inside that orb is a world, and then as the game progresses you get more orbs. But then some of the puzzles will be like, okay, well, like this orb, and each orb gets a different power, how it interacts with the world. So then there'll be times where it's like you can put an orb inside another orb, and then it's like real Inception shit. Like you're going inside now, and it's so weird because I feel like you watch the trailers or you talk about it, and it sounds like it would be the most complicated game ever. And I don't really like super hard puzzle games. Like the Witness and shit is like too much for me. But this definitely, even though it sounds more complicated than what it is, it sits finally on that line of pretty easy to, well, not easy, pretty like you can get your head around it. And I really liked also, and I didn't know this, or maybe I didn't pay enough attention to the trailers and stuff. There's actually boss battles in this. And I really like the simplistic design of each of the boss battles because there's no combat. It's just puzzle. Like you're just working your way through an area, solving things, and then you come up against a monster of some sort. But like to fight the monster is just again using like a power of an orb to like dodge its attacks until you can like drop something on its head or something like that. Pretty simplistic stuff, but it's really, really cool. The visual design, art direction of the game is fantastic, and yeah, I'm really, really loving it, which isn't shocking. Like I feel like everyone said it was great, and it's like from the lead designer of Limbo and Inside and shit, it's like, hey, who'd have thought that game would be good? So that's been really good. Enjoying that. Have you been playing much at the moment, Ash?
Well, I've been playing Skull and Bones. I also jumped into Fortnite to try the new.
Which one? Which version of Fortnite? Lego
Rocket
Fortnite?
Racing. Is it? I think it's called the Rocket Racing.
Yeah,
whatever the Rocket League Racing.
Mm-hmm.
I gave that a go. It's pretty fun. Solid racing. It controls well. The tracks are kind of simplistic, but I feel like I have not played Fortnite in ages, so jumping in and just seeing a bunch of what feels like streams all over the screen.
There's
to find the game modes.
There's like 5 different game modes currently in Fortnite because there's normal
like there's
Fortnite.
More.
There's a lot more, but like there's 5
ranked,
festival,
like
Lego.
Yeah, festival, Lego,
no build,
racer,
build.
No build. Like there's so much going on with Fortnite. Fortnite is.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's Roblox now, pretty much.
100%.
So, want to be, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a really solid racer. If Fortnite's the only game you want to play, and that it's there. It'd be cool to get more cars. I think it's just a very basic original Rocket League car that you can race around in. At least in my experience, from dominating a bunch of races.
Dominating, he says.
I want at least the first 4.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
At least the first 4.
Most likely against bots, right? Because that's the Fortnite way. Is
Nah.
no.
He's like, nah, one was called Steve Jobs. Oh, fuck, hold on.
One was called Adam 3456781.
That sounds
All
like
caps.
You need to look out for names like Rimdrommer and shit like that. That's some real usernames.
Yeah.
That's when you know I'm racing real
Yeah.
people. Then also, I did do the Fortnite festival,
Apparently
which
it's bad.
it's a rhythm game. It's fine. I mean, it's a rhythm game with controllers. So it's not going to be fantastic. They've got solid elements to fine tune it for your lag on your controller and that kind of stuff, so you can try and get that as close as you get. I think the fun bit of it is seeing your avatars up on stage playing whatever instruments. For me, seeing the Mandalorian on stage playing guitar is pretty amusing. But yeah, I mean, it's fine.
I just remember something else I've been playing. I forgot to say. I played a few hours of Pizza Tower.
What is this game? This game. Jeff referred to it, and then I've seen more and more people talk about it since then.
It was nominated for best debut indie, and I've seen a lot of people say it's one of the best indies of the year. So I was like, yeah,
well, that's right up my alley. You better drop everything else and play it.
Yeah.
You're correct. It is right up my alley. It is. So it's a game. It has a story, but it doesn't really matter. But I mean, basically, the game, here's the synopsis: is Pizza Tower is a fast-paced 2D platformer inspired by the Warrior Land series, with an emphasis on movement, exploration, and score attack, featuring highly stylized pixel art inspired by cartoons from the 90s and a highly energetic soundtrack. So it's you play some pizza dude, and then there's a tower that pops up, and there's some bad pizza dude, whatever. It's just generic 90s video game story. It doesn't really matter. But you go through these levels, you're working your way up through the tower, and you have to make it it is fast paced, but not like Sonic to the point that you're not paying attention to what you're doing, and it's you can't stop and think. There's not that degree of it. There's secrets to find and whatever else. But how it works is you'll get through to the end of the level. When you get to the end of the level, you touch this statue, and then the tower or that section of the tower starts falling apart. So then you have to race backwards through the level that you just did. So now you're on a timer to get to the entry. Wherever you came in through the level, that's suddenly now the exit. So you race through it. It has a bunch of boss battles. Their wild, wacky character designs and stuff like that. It's not super hard, but it definitely leans a bit more, I guess, especially the boss battles towards 90 video game design. It's not a hardcore platformer like Celeste or anything like that. It's also not a platformer. I don't know. It definitely the Warrior Land inspiration. I see a lot of people in the comments man, they don't make games like this anymore. I'm yeah, well, I guess I don't. It does fit in a weird realm of 90s video game side scrolling stuff. The art's really, really good. I love the design and the character design and monsters and stuff like that. So yeah, I would recommend that from what I've played as well. That's been a lot of fun. Really good music too. So what have you been playing, Ciaran?
I think what I've been playing and what I will be playing for at least the foreseeable future is the finals. I love
AI, do you?
Fucking well.
I thought we weren't playing it because of the AI voice acting.
And then I got, somebody was like, hey, you should, hey, you finally got Oceanic Servers last night. I was like, oh, fuck it. I've still got to install to play it. Shit's actually really fucking good. It's really, really enjoyable. I think it has one of the most interesting competitive game modes I've ever seen, or at least in recent times, where the competitive game mode is actually a tournament where you go through different matches to kind of progress through a tournament bracket to get your rankings and your SR progression. I think is really interesting. It's a lot of fun. I think the destructibility of the game is impressive. I think the level of things that can be destroyed, the buildings that can be pulled down. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going to be playing around with that, especially once I have better internet, to make sure I'm not got any lag whatsoever. Mark my words, I'm probably going to got lag somehow. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying my time with it so far, at the very least.
Did you work out your cheap Aussie broadband or whatever the fuck you was trying to get?
Yeah,
Whatever you're
boy. Yeah, fucking 600 megasecond for like $100 a month for the next 12 months.
Allegedly.
You test those speeds.
Look, it's the next other like plan I was looking at was Telstra's, which their highest is 250. So, fuck, even if I get 400 out of this one, like that's way better than anything I'd get on Telstra. And to the fucking moon, to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I should get 40 meg upload speeds. That's dope. I'm excited.
Imagine how fast you can upload your essays.
I know, right? Or anything else.
Posters.
For,
Yeah.
you know, fucking you guys, you know what? I'm already, when we're recording these recording sessions, my internet's going to be uploading things I haven't even said yet. It's already going to be done.
I mean, we're all sitting on 99% uploaded. I don't think it'd be 100 because that would.
I don't know about fucking Ashley Hobley, who once we get to the end of the recording takes fucking 15 minutes to upload the 1% somehow.
That's the website's problem.
What are you going to play over the holidays then, Ash? If Ciaran's just playing the finals.
I mean, the dream is to finish Like a Dragon.
Before
the man who erased the name, but also Like a Dragon.
The first one,
Like a Dragon. It was
before number 2 comes out.
Before the second one comes out. Yes.
When does that come out? What's the release date?
It's like January, right? January 20 something.
January, late January.
It's like 28th, 27th, 29th, around there. Those 3 days.
Yeah. So that's the dream.
I would love to also do that because I'd love to actually finish that. Go back to it, like from when I started. Whenever I started at the start of the year, midway through the year, I can't remember. Anyway, would love to get back to that. The other thing I grabbed because it was on sale the other day that I want to check out. I grabbed Octopath Traveler 2 for my Switch. So.
I will also most likely have played some part of Alan Wake 2 by the time we start recording again.
Nice.
Yeah,
and then you'll be like, "Why didn't I play this earlier? It's so good." That's what I hope to hear.
Yeah. I need to pick it up sooner because it's like $40 on the Epic Game Store at the moment.
Yeah,
I mean,
good,
it's super cheap at the moment if you want to play it on PC. Yeah, they basically, and you get the remaster of the first ones for free as well. So, it's a bargain. By the way, I'm not going to talk.
Wait, did you see the story that was floating around that Alan Wake 2 didn't sell well because it was only on digital?
No, that's a bullshit story. That's connecting something.
It's a story I saw.
yeah, and it's a story you're going to cling on to, but it's 2 factors that don't have direct correlation. Alan Wake 2 didn't sell well because it's Alan Wake, and it is as niche as fuck as it gets.
It's not as niche as fuck as it used to be. After Control,
not as it used to, but it's still niche. Like, it's still incredibly niche.
We'll say also, I looked up because they released the final cut free update with New Game Plus for Alan Wake the other day and shit like that. Because I'm like, nah, fuck it. Like, I just want to know like what the changes are. I watched someone did a YouTube video of all the shit that's added for New Game Plus. It is wild how much like stuff that they sneak in and change for New Game Plus, and it changes the ending of the game and gives a way like it, I can't say about spoilers, but I was like, holy shit. I'll tell you what, Remedy. Oof. Maybe they're my favorite developer at the moment. I don't know. They're fucking killing it. I'll tell you what. They're doing some good shit over there. I can't wait. That's how I feel. Yeah, I would say Octopath Traveler is currently my because we're on holidays, but I still got work. But I'm like, well, that's a Switch game, right? So I brought it. It was on sale for Switch, so I can portability help for that one. Yakuza, I can continue to play on my ROG, but I honestly kind of feel like I'd like to play that sort of laid back on my TV a bit more. Like, it was fine on my ROG deck, but if I wanted, but also I just want a bigger screen aspect for that.
Also, if it's in Japanese from memory, so that'd be difficult to read the subtitles in the tiny text.
No, I put it in English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played it in English. I was like, that's fine. I don't need the subtitles. It's fine. Also, because we didn't get to record Plat, we recorded our last episode Plat. After that update went live, yes, I got the final trophy, and it popped the platinum straight away. So that was my 400th platinum.
of Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, it was Alan Wake 2. It's my 400th platinum. So I didn't have to do anything. Like I literally booted up the game to the main menu, click continue, and as soon as I click continue and it loaded my last autosave, it just popped the last trophy that was glitched out and then just popped the platinum. I was like, nice. That's what we want.
So you're going to post that video?
No, because it's in her, like when my save loaded up, it's like at a very spoilerific,
oh, okay.
Like because it's from the end of the game, yeah. So I was like, no, probably not. Probably for the better. Anyway, I'll do it for the final episode of Arcade Couch for 2023. Thank you, everyone who has listened and checked out the show this week or read anything or scrolled through anything on Explosion Network. Much appreciated. Keep it up throughout the new year. Obviously, we'll be coming out with our best of articles and stuff starting from the first week of June. Not June. January even. Fuck. 6 months break.
June. Fucking big break.
Yeah.
That's how bad E3 is fucking cancelled status.
Yeah. First week of January, best of TV stuff if you care about that. Second week will be our Games Week award stuff, and then obviously the third week will be our Movies Award Week stuff as per usual. And then again, Arcade Couch returning first official normal episode. It will be back on the 22nd of January with Between the Cushions. I've made sure it's like obviously Between the Cushions episode for that week as well. And we should be talking about Prince of Persia, I guess. Like, I assume all of us, based on PAX, will be picking that up at this stage.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So that might be our first big discussion for that week. But anyway, I hope you have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, play some video games, do all those fun things, and we will see you in the new year. Goodbye.
Bye.